Hi there. Do you know what it really means to set healthy boundaries? There's a lot of big talk out there around setting healthy boundaries, but it sounds a lot like there's some confusion, and some people out there are definitely not knowing exactly how to do that. They don't have the courage to do that, or they get splashy and push away. So, I'm going to give you a few tips on how to manage it. So, the first one is definitely getting into that vibration in your body where it's like, I'm setting healthy boundaries. No to you, yes to me. Why that doesn't work is because, again, you've shifted your frequency into a position of being either right or wrong. So that is all your egoic attachment. To be able to just jump on board and be able to just say, I'm pushing you out of my world, I don't need this anymore, wagging fingers at each other and no, no, no. Now that's not to say that you go along and let people step over you, push you, shove you, physically harm you. Any of those pieces are super not okay, and we know this. But setting healthy boundaries also needs to come from a place of vibrational frequency for your highest good. So when you're actually coming from a place deep inside of you, that frequency behind the mind, that quieter place in your heart, when you recognize and honor what is right for you or not right for you, you get the opportunity to check yourself and to check other people. So the second thing is around healthy boundaries. You don't always have to say yes immediately or no immediately to anything that comes across your plate. You have the opportunity to slow down and check again inside your heart. Is this really right for me? Is this relationship still true for me? Is this type of food still right for me? But checking into your actual heart space and slowing down is a really good start to finding out how to set healthy boundaries. If, for example, there is a relationship that's challenging to you, it causes you some distress or anxiety, whether it's at work or at home, give yourself the gift to be able to slow down and decide whether you want to participate or not participate. If you've been invited to something, if you've been included in situations, or if you need a little bit of quiet time to pull back and check in, this is what healthy boundaries are really about. So it's about checking into your own frequency, deciding what works for you, what isn't working for you, and sending that message in a clean and clear way to whomever or whatever the circumstances know. So it's not about slandering anybody, it's not about backstabbing anyone, it's not about cliquing or harming. In reality, different people have different preferences, and that's allowed, and everyone is allowed to be where they're at. And I'm not trying to do this from an ungrounded place of, ooh, it's just a magical unicorns and fairy tales of nonsense. It's about direct communication with yourself to communicate to others so that they know what a clear no is. So a true no for yourself. The second tip I want to let you know is when you start to do this, it's gonna feel really uncomfortable. If it's a true no and you haven't said no for a really long time, it's going to feel uncomfortable in your nervous system because in the meantime, you've been in flight or fight mode for a really long time in certain relationships, certain work environments, certain things that have been arising, and you don't even know that your nervous system has been trying to keep you safe or try to pull you away. So having a true no to, especially to a place or a relationship where you haven't said no ever or in a really long time, you're going to get some feedback there. Not everyone's going to love your new decisions and not everyone's going to love your boundaries. But when you're really coming from your heart and able to explain what a clean no really feels like, speaking your truth to the degree that you need to, because you do not owe anybody any kind of a long-term explanation. That's also part of the gift of checking in and being honest with yourself and others is how much do I even want to share about my new no? But just know for a while that it's going to feel uncomfortable because you haven't honored that part of yourself for a bit. So my recommendation is even if you find one or two people that you love and trust, to be able to go to them and say, look, I'm going to start sending some vibes of some new healthy boundaries with some people and I may struggle a little bit. Ask permission to come back to those people, come back to those safe places where you can let people know when you're feeling a little wiggly about these new choices that you're making for yourself. The third thing I want to recommend is when you're actually setting healthy boundaries is actually to check if you're able to set healthy boundaries with yourself. That includes things like jumping on social media first thing in the morning or right before you go to bed. you're really just setting yourself up to fail because you're comparing yourself to others all over the place. So whether it's first thing in the morning and you're trying to set a mindset, already you've put yourself in a position to not honor where you're at, where you're growing, where you're learning, where you're connecting, and what your soul is actually calling through you. So setting healthy boundaries with yourself around social media, around bedtime, around fitness and health and wellness, around relationships, recognizing when you are angry and projecting onto another person versus actually setting a boundary with yourself and recognizing, wow, this is mine. I need to go away and pull out for a minute so I can clean up my stuff because I care about you and love you enough to not splash all my garbage all over you. Now, again, that really takes a connected mind, a willingness to actually show up for what's happening and arising in our bodies, and this is the real work. This is a very, very deep journey, and it can get extremely messy. But recognizing that if you're in a calm place and you're in a good frequency, things will actually shift for themselves quite easily. The perks of doing this inside of healthy boundaries is by saying yes to yourself in a way that's loving without pushing others away, is you will be in more of a place of peace, comfortable in your own skin, comfortable in your own vibration, and comfortable with the things that you start to manifest and create around you. So your self-esteem will automatically go up, you'll begin to sleep better, your relationships and friendships around you enhance and improve. You start seeing the synchronicities in your life that bring good things to your heart, to your reality, so you can start creating from a way deeper place. So those are my 3 tips around healthy boundaries. Is again, it's more just getting more honest about how to do this in a cleaner way. Again, if you've just begun with this type of work and you are learning more about yourself and recognizing that you don't really want to believe the stories in your mind, you don't really want to live with anxiety every day, you're finished with unhealthy relationships, all of these things are leading through your heart and guiding you to a whole new place and frequency and way of being, and there's tons of support out there. So reach out to me if you need anything at all. I'd be happy to answer any of your questions, and I would really, really love to know how you have used healthy boundaries in your life and how maybe these new tips can actually create something new for you moving forward. Thanks so much. Have a great day.